Hello, everyone. I have a lot of downloads. Okay, space codes are on high. The alarm went off like crazy. Let me just open up the window a little bit because I like to look out of it and see any space anomalies happen while I talk, when I talk. Am I waking up with zombies around me like I planned? Nope. So I want to say the vibes are a little off. You know what I mean? Because there's no virus on the news right now. Oh, strange virus. Strange brain disease breaks out, makes you confused, gives you food poisoning, you know what I mean? Gives you nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, makes you have delusions of grandeur, call yourself a god, um, makes you confused in reality, makes you talk out loud to yourself, hallucinations, can lead to super depression, has lots of varying symptoms, stuff like that. Super depression, super anger, prone to acts of violence, prone to sudden outbursts of anger, prone to moodiness. What else? Acting strange, what people would call going crazy. I mean, we would know all the signs, right? But like nobody would say it. So I have to say it and be super obvious as to what the mind virus looks like. Obviously, it's linked to something in the brain. Um, like a brain rot or something. Um, a sudden swelling of the skin, itchy eyes, nose, and ears. So allergies, itchiness, redness, inflammation over the skin, which is something that's can be linked to like food poisoning and stuff like that, or hives, like general allergies. Yeah, so I think I covered the basic symptoms of the mind virus. So that would lead to the virus that causes the zombie outbreak, that would lead to Last of Us, that would cause zombies to literally walk the planet and basically rule the planet. Because the zombies they lived sort of in peace and harmony, sort of, but they sort of went to war with the humans in that reality. There's an unconditional love hand on my computer right now. Also, I did not call it peach body, and I call it orange. And I'll tell you guys all the story about what happened, last night and everything. Let me just write that down a second. We are sort of breaking the game right now and being pulled out. And Alex is laughing hysterically about it because we almost were like, why is she talking? Like yesterday, me talking about me, like, why is she talking? Is it a setup that I'm talking? Is something bad going to happen because I'm talking and everything? And then we went over like all of the codes, and I'll go through the story. But basically, we came to the conclusion this morning that I really needed to be talking because I had to give codes out to my friends, um, to help trust me, and to help like not lead us off another proverbial cliff year after year after year, and well, to help as much as I could, and like to say like to see if we're all in agreement still when we're not coded by space, which so far we mainly are. You know, we're bickering and fighting a little bit, but it's like we know why we bicker and fight now. And that's definitely a code that we brought in. And it's mainly to keep us safe, believe it or not. I mean, we went over the levels and where we are and the map. And Alex, the map is real for Alex Mazzone. And he gave me that, I want to say, not accurate, but precise, that he gave me that precise information back that I needed, that the map is, and also he's an overlay of someone that literally lives in my neighborhood. So it's not just Sedona, it's also local, which is another quantum thing that we needed. And they're pulling each other through each other. So he's actually like here. His name's Greg. I think I talked about that before. And so there's a lot of downloads, and I didn't write it down because I didn't have much sleep, but I'm going to try to do my best because we're finding out why I'm talking. And so, yeah, because we basically want to cause the mind virus and go to Last of Us. And there's a lot of people in the world that's in an 8 billion people world that are listening in that would also prefer to start playing video games and to be free and not to go to work anymore. Basically, people want to be free of their corporate career. And, you know, the only thing that the government is worried about is, which is you, they're telling me, which is interesting. The only thing the government is worried about is obviously like another pandemic. Obviously, a lot of people die. Obviously, like, you know, you lose a lot of life. It's very tragic. It's very sad. That can cause the super depression. Or, you know, sometimes you get super depression without a reason. And then it's like, then, you know, there's this whole factor where people are shady about their death process. And that's why I kept going over the death process with people, with how many, I get like a death card from a person that dies pretty much every year or whatever, to show that, you know, I'm a spiritual teacher, and spirituality. Most of us believe that death isn't real, that we go on, the energy goes on somewhere. And even if it doesn't go on, like some people don't want the energy to go on, and that's okay as well. And the only thing that's, you know, that's still here is the grief. And, I'm a little hypocritical in that myself because I don't want my special people to die. So I totally get that. And you know, it would be Last of Us. So I would probably lose some special people. And there's probably a lot of grief in that. So I think that's the controversial part about playing Last of Us in a literal video game. Even though I'm talking about it out loud with my mouth and like, this is a video game or whatever. And they're like, the slightest chance that it's not. And it's like, is this encouraging young kids to, you know, do bad things to themselves or whatever if 3D overpowers us? And that was a concern brought up by a friend, and I appreciate that concern. And I generally would say it's really not a concern because it is a video game. But, and these are like things that have partial codes in them. That's why you're nervous about it, and that's why you have anxiety about it, and that's why you hire a spiritual teacher to help you through it, to walk you through it. That's why I went through so many different Last of Us scenarios on here, and how my friends would be appreciative for it even if it turned them into a zombie. I would be appreciative for it if I turned into a zombie. I would think it was funny. I would think it was great if I got bit by a zombie and I turned into a zombie and I wasn't immune and I wasn't Ellie. I would probably think that's funny as hell, you know? And that's what people are curious about, I'm hearing in telepathy, is like how I make everything subtle look obvious and also look funny instead of scary. And that's one of my other objectives in talking so much, even though it is scary to do that in a public forum. You know, to maybe like obviously I'm into natural acid, which is, acid DMT in your pineal gland. And natural acid, yeah, in your pineal gland or whatever. And I'm not opposed to drugs being on the free market as well, so, and I think it's great, a mind expander, ayahuasca trip. I think it's great. I think it helps you a lot to meet, other identities in the video game or whatever. So I would say the controversial part of Last of Us, um, I would say the mind virus is starting to take effect in the spiritual part already, and we already would know all those symptoms, but we wouldn't be able to say it out loud. And then when it would happen in full bodyment, people would start to be like, "Oh my God, it's really happening," or whatever. And I would just say this is a prediction at that point, but I would say that mass consciousness is listening in because I'm a spiritual teacher. And again, we all have telepathy and we all have these abilities, all 8 billion of you. And I know that being a telepath, which would bring forward my Jean Grey part, as well as a psychic, which would bring forward my 3D identity. So I would say there's a major agreement to go to Last of Us. And if there's a major agreement to go to Last of Us, which does include DC because they are you and they do want to push it out, that they are in agreement that if a lot of people die, it's the will of the creator, which would be all of us, which would be me and you, right? So it's me and you right now. It's all of us and it's all of our will together. And because it's the conglomerate of energy, which, here I go going back to being God, going back to being the God particle. That's something that can be also pulled out of the video game. And that's not something that I generally wanted because I wanted unconditional love to fill the earth. You've all had that experience. You've all had the unconditional love experience on this earth, and that's something that can fill the entire earth. And that might be another fail-safe space trap to help people yeah. And there's people like trying to steal my codes or whatever and like fight over my codes. And I guess there's like so much, like the download this morning was like insane. And Alex is laughing his butt off about it. You know what I mean? Who does not hate their fucking job? Who does not hate going to school in the morning? Who doesn't hate that this planet is slowly being destroyed or quickly being destroyed the way that you think about it? Who doesn't hate the fact that a tiny house community, a worldly tiny house community, is so simple? It's such a simple solution, and yet we still can't have it. Who doesn't hate the fact that unconditional love is a code, and it could literally be coding the planet right now, and it could be orange or it could be peach. And I usually say it's peach, but I've been saying it's orange and I don't know exactly why, but I like the sound. The way that I do it is I like the sound of orange right now. I like the sound of that word. Okay. I don't like the way, peach to me sounds too feminine. Okay. Orange sounds better. So I like orange. Orange is a code and it's a jump room to Mars. Okay. So an orange sky, it's still unconditional love. It's just more intense. So it's a more intense version of the peach code. Peach is the high heart, and orange is the sacral chakra. So it's like um, it's a lower density of the same version, and it's a jump room to Mars. Okay, and I was saying I like the sound of Mars better than Venus right now, but I'm starting to build a fail-safe space trap to Venus, which I haven't brought up because I've been on space codes the past 2-3 days, and I do have 3D stuff that I'm in charge of, looking for a phone, looking to move out, looking for a place. I've been looking for, a cute house, maybe to rent or to buy in the area. There's literally no cute homes because I was like, tiny house community, and I was like, maybe I can find I found the cutest house here, not for sale. I look on Zillow, literally no freaking houses for sale here at all, right? I haven't looked up an apartment to rent yet, but So that's going to be my next thing. So, yeah. Fresh. Hello. Got eye boogies this morning. Okay. So, it's so warm in my room. Gosh, you just asked to be in here. Why do you keep doing that? Are you having a panic attack, Fresh? I think Fresh is having a panic attack because he keeps wanting to come in and then just wanting to go out. There he goes. He's laying down. Does your dog know English? I would say yes. Okay. And if you want to say, oh my God, he's a dog, you know what I mean? You expect him to know English. I would probably say that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I would probably say that for most of my life. You know what I mean? How sick are we of it, Gigi? You know, Jesus. Oh, I just turned into Harley Quinn when I said that, or the Joker, or Off Kilter. We've all been turning into our crazy clown piece for a reason, and that's why I'm going over all of it. There she is. And I've been looking like a doll lately. I heard you. Look at it. Look at this. Do you guys remember this doll face? I love that face. It's so scary, right? Anytime I'd make that face, like growing up, they'd be like, "Oh my God, I am terrified. Alyssa, please stop making that face." This is a scar. Excuse me. This is a scar that I got. I literally burnt my face off when I was like 16. On a trampoline. We had a trampoline, and I like sunned myself one day, and my whole body got burnt, but my face got really burnt because I didn't put any sunscreen on, and I was just like, let me just try to get tan, and I literally burnt this skin off my face, and it just like peeled. You can see like it's a straight fucking line. You can see the line, right? And just like this tiny piece of skin tore off of my face. Did I turn into a zombie, or did I get bit by a zombie? And did I start to decay at 16 and I didn't see it because I was being family held? And it didn't bleed through. But I mean, it bled. It didn't bleed through, right? And right, 16. That's pretty close to, how old is she when she gets bit? 12 or 14? I think 14. So yeah, it was like pretty close, identical, matching memory. And I want to say that this is part of me turning into, this is my zombie scar. And look, we've never seen that scar show up before. And it just shows up once in a while. This is why I should be able to talk freely and not have to worry and over explain, like, I am a spiritual teacher. There is no death. Okay. We do go on. Like, and if we don't go on, we're an atheist and we don't want to go on. And there's that's also just a code, and that's okay if people don't want to go on. So, yeah, Isn't that crazy, guys? I know I heard like some people being like, what? Yeah, the denial. They're like talking, they keep talking about she's in denial. Why doesn't she want to see it? She's in denial. Like, they're like, it is solid, but she doesn't want to see it because she's in denial. And Alex and I talked about it, and we didn't agree with that at all. In fact, we said, no, motherfuckers, we are not in denial. We're the ones that are actually talking about it, telling the truth. Whereas you motherfuckers are in denial. You're the ones in denial. You're the ones that keep denying the truth. And you're the reason that we keep coming back here to almost having Last of Us and then not seeing it. Okay. And they're like, oh, no, it is real. We do see it. And we're like, no, we're not in denial. We're saying this is happening. We're saying there is multiple timelines. We're saying that Last of Us can occur. And you guys, when we talk about it too, you're like, things like Last of Us could never happen. Zombies are not real. Like let's start with the easy one, a zombie. A vampire is probably a little bit harder for you guys to believe, but they're also filling in. And it's like, you can believe in COVID. You can believe in like a mass, like basically like a mass scenario where mass people die of a sickness, but like you can't agree to the fact that, you know, the people, what I just said, like the people whose energy is still here, like they're still here and their family members can still talk to them as a ghost. And the ones that are atheists just don't want to go on, and that's also okay. And that mass, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can't say it, you know what I mean? I feel like it's still controversial, and I'm a spiritual teacher, that like a mass thing is like okay to happen. It's okay to have things like this happen. And I know that we know that on a physical level, but it's like there's so much pain and suffering and grief and saying that you lost your best friend. And that is understandable. That's also understandable. And there's probably a code for that, okay, that we're looking for right now. Um, Look at me. I'm like, give me Brandon back, He's a dead man on this timeline, okay? Um it's controversial, right? It's controversial to lose someone that you love, to lose someone that you care about, and to have a mass thing like that to cause Last of Us. Again, there's so many codes to cover this unconditional love, da 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 da. If you agree that it's a video game, and if you don't agree that it's a video game, then you're not spiritual, then you are an atheist, then you are stuck in 3D, and you are the one stuck in denial because it's so obvious. It's so obvious that things are not normal. I don't know any person that is unaffected, and maybe there is some bitch out there that's so super in denial. I don't know a single one because the telepathy has been turned on for a year and a half. I'm thinking about it because I saw like a bikini. I keep seeing a bikini. Oh, and then there was a code that came in, and I was like, and then I keep like seeing a bikini when I close my eyes, and they're like, Alyssa, take a vacation. And I'm thinking about it, um, if I should listen to that guidance or not. And that's when the space codes turned on because it was one extremely out of line mother that literally led us to where we are. That's telling me to take a vacation because she's telling me to stop because basically she doesn't want to admit that I'm right and that I'm steering her in a different direction. And you know, basically she's seeing that there's really no point in her career and I'm telling her where we're leading ourselves to. And she doesn't want to agree with me. And so she's just getting angry at me and literally telling me to stop and go on a vacation. And because of that, she's stuck in paranoia and she's seeing like negative images or whatever. And she thinks that she's protecting me. But that's when the space codes turned on and I bilocated to the beach. And she wants to say I'm stupid because that's space and not time, and she's from time. And I'm telling you, we turned off time last time, didn't we, with COVID? Okay. And I'm telling you, there is a group decision. There's a group decision, that includes authority figures that want to turn off time because they're listening to me. And I am saying it is partially a group choice because there are fun things to do in this video game. And that's my job as a spiritual leader to help you and lead you out to a better life. And a lot of us see Last of Us as a better life. And a lot of us will still be here, even if we choose to die. Again, I feel like that's extremely controversial. And I feel like that's like really hard for me to say out loud. And I'm sorry if that's offensive to you. We still will be here participating in the game within the energy, within the context of the game. And that code started coming forward that we would still be here. And it's because people are starting to shapeshift into other people, and everybody is seeing it, that we're shapeshifting into other people. Everybody will be here. Everybody that wants to be here will be here. Even if a mass, and what I would call it as a spiritual teacher, I would call a mass abduction of energy. That's what I would call it. I wouldn't even see it as a mass death, right? But of course I would talk about it if it started happening. And I would say I would say I see them being taken on ships, right? Their souls are being taken on ships and probably abducted to Andromeda, maybe abducted to their home planets, depending on how the other planets do in this Milky Way galaxy. And that's why the abduction process right now is going to Andromeda first, filling in Andromeda, and then they come back down, and I said that, and then they fill in here with a closer alien. And so that means that alien from that planet is starting to fill in because you guys are listening to me, and I'm grateful that people are actually listening to me and filling in the organic timeline. Because why wouldn't you want space travel? Why wouldn't you want to get off this dusty old ass planet? Okay, which is probably part of the reason you sleep on the fucking couch. It's a dusty old ass planet. There's so much to do. Are we tired of the beach? Are we tired of going to Paris? Are we tired of certain things? Thank you. Claire just showed off that there's no money, no energy on this planet. I'm feeling, lopsided as fuck. Lopsided. That's probably another version of that's probably another clown show. And we are not joking, okay? That's how much we want to get off this dusty ass planet, that a lot of us are listening in and prefer Last of Us than going over another fucking year of, I'm probably going to get sick of space codes at some point. Right now I'm like, I love it. I love it because I believe that the space codes are filling in the organic timeline of space travel, which is what we want. But we still have people that are fighting back, and those are the ones that are in denial. Slipping through my fingers one more time, I try to capture every minute, the feelings in it. So, when you guys fight back like that, what you're doing right now, it turns me satanic, and it fills me in as Jean Grey, and it starts up here in my arms. It usually starts in my arms. Sometimes it goes full torso if it's really intense, full head, full torso, full crown. Okay. And if it's super intense, then it goes into the legs. And that's my progression. Right now it's just sort of here in the arms. Okay. And you know what I mean? The Deadpool technology is still also available, and so is the Void. So is the Void. So is the Space Activator. Didn't everything just change overnight? Okay, there's a little like trepidation in me staying like a people for some reason. Um, I mean, how fun would the tiny house community be? You know what I mean? That's like another way out of this crazy capitalist society that is literally ruining our lives every single day to make expenses lower and to make tiny houses more readily available and, you know, cheaper housing options available. And I mean, people would really rather live in a shed than to deal with people that we refer to as mean mother. And you know, that's we and she's on the internet and she gives the worst advice ever. And I don't you know what I mean? The money thing is why, which is a part of crazy capitalism, is a reason why. And I'm starting to feel satanic. I'm starting to feel um trepidation. I'm starting to feel anxiety because these are partial codes that have come in. And so I don't feel 100% safe talking about this yet, because last time I did this, I waited until I cleared it all. And then I came on here and I talked to you knowing what I know, knowing that telepathy is real, knowing that everything sources from me, knowing that these are things that you hear from me for sure. I know that because I talk to you out loud and you talk back to me. And now I'm grateful that people have been confirming it, validating it to me by saying simple sentences to me as I'm on my walks. Yeah. So purple and green is a code. Anyway, look at like I feel like there's just I mean, how many space codes is in this one? And I'm doing better um remembering, and that's because I'm partially literally fighting back with someone, and she's helping me with to stay out of my baby mode to give you these codes back. She's helping me with my memory. And a lot of people can prove that they're not a person. That's why everybody is shape-shifting on the television. Even if they won't admit it to themselves, Rage Gear admits it to themselves. And we also have rave gear in there. And I expected to go to a rave last night, but I instead I went to a bar brawl. It was a literal bar brawl, bar brawl. Barbarella. See, that's probably linked to Barbarella on Mars, and that's natural Mars anyway. Oh my God, I get so excited about my game and I can't even visit these places. You know what I mean? Is there a code for that? Can we cut to the chase? And is there a code for that? So, slipping through my fingers one more time. I try to capture every minute of feelings in it. Slipping through my fingers one more time. This must be a crown placement. That looks Venetian. A Venetian crown. if you feel like I need to be going to school every day, if you feel like you're like having like a mini panic attack because I need to be going to school every day, then that is because this is where the trepidation comes from. Okay, because these are partial codes. And so I'm hesitating and it's tearing into space while I'm having a mini anxiety attack, like, um, taking care of my 3D life, even though I know it's fake. And that's why I'm having all these 3D codes come in to cover me, but they're partial codes because I haven't validated it yet and proven it to me yet. And I thank myself for starting to prove it to me because, like, taking care of my bills or whatever and having like a friend work at like those places because the energy is overlapping right now and those people um still work there and whatever, and it's like I get my space codes like, okay, yes, like this looks not good in 3D reality, but I have the code for it and I know it's fake as fuck, you know what I mean? And it's like I have to rely on those people giving me the partial energy back, like, you know what I mean? Just like I know exercise is fake, because if you can become a mutant and can control the weather and stuff like that, then like me, then that um, you if you're a mutant, you can control things that are way out of a human's control that have nothing to do with a barbell, right? Or have nothing to do with lifting or deadlifting, then that energy is real, and there's a certain there's a certain click in you that says you don't have to work out. You know what I mean? There's definitely a code for that. And also, I have my father, Colin Farrell, tell me all the time it's an overlay. Plus, our faces are starting to come online where they're changing. My face is shaped everything all the time. My eyes start glowing all the time. If the codes go on high, my hair starts turning red. My hair started filling in pink last night. That's probably my off kilter suit. When the space codes go on high, that means it's like starting to fill in. So I know my hair isn't real. Plus, my hair sometimes looks thick, sometimes it looks thin. And what else? Gigi said if her mom starts beating, and this is group, it's a group, it's not a person. If her mom starts beating her ass that in our game, then it's over for us. Because it kind of means you failed if you beat the princess. But it's like you can kind of beat me, you know what I mean? Like obviously there can be like individual winners, but it's sort of like the conglomerate of energy again. And or it's just like it's so outdated advice that's like winning right now that it really makes me super, super sad, you know? Um, but did you tell me that last year? Did that come through the chat at all? Like, was there any evidence other than, you winning at my game? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to come forward and say that politics aren't real? And like, you know what I mean? Like, do you want to, like, there's obviously other codes, I guess. Like, we know that now, but it's like, do you know that? And now Colin Farrell is walking in and laughing because it is real and some people see it as solid and I do not. I do not see it as solid, okay? And there's got to be a code for that where I see the things that I want to see solid and then I see the extremely scary things, maybe translucent or something like that. There was just an American flag. Okay, so the government just broke a code and said the government's not real. Okay, so they just gave me a partial code back. Obviously, I know the government works with me because I listen to them in telepathy and they have been calming me down for 10 years, which made me grow my trust in the government very, very much. I think I've always sort of liked the presidents, probably because I was married to one. Um, so So yeah, so because when I see the American flag, I probably think of the U.S. government. I just love. I just freaking love. I've always loved the presidents of the United States, and I've always loved the US government, and I've always thought of running. So I'm sort of like AOC like that, just to help the community, help people. I obviously love helping the homeless. And then I heard the homeless out that some people actually like being homeless. And I was like, well, I totally get that. And there's like a balancing code in that where like it's partially a reptilian code to like to be dirty all the time. And they see it as a protective coding, which I went over with you guys. And like not brushing your teeth. Aren't I partly homeless because I'm not brushing my teeth because I believe that my teeth aren't real? And I don't get cavities anymore, and I just eat whatever I want. And so I mean, hopefully the Mars conjunct will help with that. Mars conjunct Jupiter, you know what I mean? Like let's turn astrology up. Maybe let's say not astrology is not going away. Maybe let's say astrology is being turned up. And that Mars conjunct Jupiter actually means the jump room is on. You know what I mean at that time. So like there's a free ride to Mars. Like you can avoid 3D travel, say if Elon Musk fights back and then there's all of a sudden there's NASA ships to Mars, right? Or whatever Boring Co, whatever it's called, Boring Co to Elon World, Mars, and you want to like beat the capitalist system and like then David Palmer's like, oh, Mars is conjunct Jupiter October 21st to November 11th, and basically you put in your vacation time at that time. And then you have a code that says Alyssa is God, whether or not the church of Alyssa is open or not. And Alyssa is God. And then you set the attention to go to the Mars jump room. And then you can jump to Mars and you can jump to Jupiter. And you can have a free vacation to Mars and Jupiter that you're covered with the unconditional love code of Alyssa is God. And then that helps you do space travel without capitalism money. Because I want to play my video game because there's so many fun things to do. And I want to go to Mars and I want to go to Jupiter, and I'm probably um, really sad for the people on Jupiter because they're in vapor right now. So I'm saying, um, right? Because that's how like there's people on Jupiter that we're losing, and probably messes with the space, our space communication to Jupiter. And I'm like, I got to get my planets back. I got to get this organic timeline going. I got to get international space travel open. I got to move us on from dream codes into real time codes and braid in time and space, and open up the organic template and open up the organic timeline and open up the the planets. And then it's like, okay, free vacations. Alyssa's got, then you jump to Mars. You take a week vacation, take a week off, go to Mars for a week, come back to work. Oh, how was your vacation? It's great. I just stayed home. I had a staycation. You know what I mean? Aren't there people that just do staycations or whatever? If you don't want to like overshare that like Alyssa's God and I got to Mars, and you know what I mean? Like you don't want to get into a fight at work because there's still people fighting back against you and saying like you're a crazy person if you believe that this spiritual leader is even real. Um, uh, uh, these are codes coming in. They're partial codes and they're partially scaring me. They are partially scaring me. Slipping through my fingers one more time. I try to capture every minute. The feelings in it. Slipping through my fingers one more time. Just keep talking her into it. Just keep talking her into it. It's my coma piece and I can't control it. So it's someone in a coma right now and I can't control it. It's my lucidity dream code and I'd like my lucidity dream code back, please. That's basically why I want to say that the occurrence is occurring and there's a fail-safe space trap in that I have to, I want to, what I care about matters. Okay. What I care about matters is what I want to say. And I would say, I would just have compassion for myself. Slipping through my fingers one more time. I try to capture every minute. The feelings in it. Slipping through my fingers one more time. Oh my God, you guys are scaring me. Okay, because we don't know what's next. We don't really know what's next. I think my cousin Keith might know what's next, but there's probably multi-dimensional reality in him right now. Because he's probably like Alex, and he's like, well, we could go this way, we could go this way, we could go this way. Obviously, there's a lot of anxiety in a multi-dimensional timeline right now. It's, people are getting like, anyway, I'm trying to say that it can be gradual for the people that want it to be gradual, and it can be quick for the people like me and Chris Evans who just want everything to be organic and real literally right now and just have their home planets back and also be able to like travel to travel to Andromeda. I think being fully embodied as we are now, having like what we know now or whatever, is probably enough for us to Claire just said, do you have enough money to go to Mars right now? Um, what's the fail safe space trap in that? If to say like you waited too long to say that, you agree with me, what's the fail safe space trap in that and everything like that? Because everything fell to the gray zone this morning. I mean, how do you swipe a fucking credit card on the computer? Tell me that one, you know? I don't have that ability. I keep seeing her swipe her credit card. Oh shit. Oh no, there's no number on that side. Okay, good. Well, anyway, I hope not. Slipping through my finger one more time. I try to capture every minute. The feelings in it. Slipping through my fingers one more time. We just can't believe you guys don't really want to help us more in 3D. That's like it's like we gained so much trust with ourselves that it's like we're so like bummed out that we're still here. And I want to say it all has to do with lack of trust, having lack of trust in yourself, which is a denial code. And that's probably something that we are in the middle of clearing right now during these solar storm waves. And that's why I have trepidation talking about it, because I haven't cleared it yet. And, you know, there's always that fear that this is going to turn off space codes for good. But I want to say, aren't I saying that starting to trust yourself is going to open bridges to Mars conjunct Jupiter? And this is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm imagining how that could happen. And I want to say there's physics in that dynamic. And that's what the organic template is, where I saw the organic template filling in last night. And I mean, it's like we just want to see something go on, you know, and it's okay for like people to be scared and like nervous at first, and then just like be like really appreciative of like the new adventure. And I want to say that's why a lot of people get appreciative like at the end of their life, and they're just like, even if like they're a zombie or whatever, and they're just like, wow, what a cool experience to be able to like turn into an alien on Earth as like a literal zombie. And I just feel like people, like a lot of people are in agreement about that. And then there's just like so many people that are like prone to anger and like argumentativeness. And there's just some people that just want to argue against you just to argue against you. Like, it's just like they love, even if you're right and they know that you're right, it's like there's something inside of them that just loves a good argument more than anything else in the world. Like you're playing devil's advocate, sort of. And it's just like they're just like, they need to like argue. They just need to argue because that, like, there's obviously energy in arguments, right? There's obviously energy in arguing. And that can hold us back from having a lot of fun in this life. And I'm saying you are having a fun experience all by yourself, even if you don't get married to Chris Evans in this lifetime. And it's like so frustrating because how many times is Chris Evans, like, that's what we're in the middle of right now. We're clearing the other half of us that is like still semi real, which is linked to the soul. Like he just pulled me off planet a couple of days ago, and it started to make me cry. And it's probably linked to me feeling like I'm not in my body. It's probably like another version of that or whatever, but it like wasn't full and it wasn't complete or whatever. So, but it's partial. It's partial, right? And like I was, you know, oh, damn it, I hate when I pull my hair out because like I'm worried about my hair being thin. Like, what's up with that? That's very human of me. And then we had to prove our point because there's all these people, because I went down last year, I think, and to hell, to all the way down to hell, and there was only me and like a a demon. There's only one demon there, and her body looked like it was sewn back together, sort of. It was like really like blown out, and it looked like she sewn her back together to like put her all the blown out stuff, all the blown out goo in her, like back inside of her. But she was still like really cute, and it was literally, and they were like, who was it? They like literally want to know the name of the actual person and her birth date, and they want to know her street address. Like they want to know literally her government freaking ID, right? And I'm literally talking to a demon in my space and time, called the lowest hell. And I probably had to visit her because she was lonely. So it looked like she was playing Nothing's There and she was getting lonely. And I invited all of my friends to come down and to hell, and nobody came down with me. And I went down by myself and I hung out with her for the day. And she obviously lives there in hell all by herself. And she's obviously very appreciative of energy, you know, um, the energy of me, Princess God, coming down there to hang out with her for the day because she was probably lonely, because that's what you guys all say when there's nothing there. And I think experiencing nothing's there is okay for um, small periods of time, but experiencing nothing's there for like an extended period of time is probably, obviously I hate experiencing nothing's there. So like, I think I started feeling that yesterday and I started having a panic attack about it. And I was like, oh my God, please not again. Like we're long extended periods of nothing's there. If this all goes awry and it happens again, literally what happened in 2017, and I kept going to my fucking void. And it doesn't matter whether you're asleep or um, whether you're asleep or awake. It doesn't matter if there's like, that's how I felt like when I went to my void, and it felt like completely alone in my void. Literally nothing was there, and except for coldness and darkness, it was just like nothing, like literally nothingness. It was just me and the nothing. So it was just me and Colin Farrell, literally nothing. And so I want to say, like, all the way up to Fantasia, it all happened, it all disintegrated or whatever, and I didn't see any of that stuff because it's all an overlay. What Fantasia looks like when it collapses. I want to say, like, all of that happened. All of a sudden, I was in nothing's there, but it happened so quick in the flash of an eye. And that's why they talk about time being like minutes and seconds and hours be equal to days here or whatever, because the time is different when things correlate. And okay, so the predator, the predator from the movie, the Predatress, said that she is coming to this level because we're on a new level today. But she is coming for you instead of for me. And so it's a different code. Um, so you still might see the Predatress, but it's coming for a different person. Because Chris Evans is like, if we turn off the game and we turn it back on and we just literally started coordinating together and we literally started learning how to play the game together and we literally started talking about opening portals being real and jump rooms being real, and we just laid all this groundwork, and then we turn off the game and then we turn it back on and it's all freaking wiped from us, or everything is brand new, or God forbid we're all reincarnated as babies and we lose our memory. How bummed out would we be? Like, we're so close to, we're so close to being able to like open these. We were so close to being like open to opening the gates fully and completely at the beginning of, um, right. You're about to be completely broke as well, as if you keep listening to yourself. Um, And to me, that sounds like a lie because I'm telling you everything we just said. And it's like, that's sort of the argument as to why I'm like taking my time to explain all of this. And it's already into an hour and I haven't even got through all of the codes yet that just came in through one 24-hour session with space codes. Or space drugs, and is the word drugs illegal when it's not, it's natural drugs basically that are in your pineal gland. Um, so, oh my God, Fresh. My hair smells like chlorine right now, so I want to say you guys are afraid of Deadpool technology, which did because there's new codes coming in, and always when new codes are coming in, plus the anxiety of literally having to deal with 3D Earth again, which is really making me so frustrated when I have rich husbands to help me deal with 3D reality who could also obviously just pull me out and put me into Fantasia or whatever. And you know what I mean? I don't so that I don't need like freaking um 3D cash or whatever, but like does not defeat the purpose of like talking to you guys and helping you guys and you guys actually listening to me and us making all the progress that Chris Evans and I just talked about. Um, because pulling my energy out of you guys does hurt you. And like I had just said about nothing's there, you're obviously playing nothing's there right now in this reality. And I'm still here. Um, Slipping through my fingers one more time. I try to capture every minute, the feelings in it. So, all the baby demons are like so freaking amazing. Um, it's like we love our fantasy realities and we would love to see more overlap during the daytime. And we would love for you guys to start agreeing with us more about that, that like we actually do love um or like just can you anyway, so slipping through my fingers one more time. I want to say this is the synthetic upgrade and coming to nothing's there. I feel like it's updating the synthetics and like saying that the illicit consciousness exists in the soul and not just the demon is the update for the synthetics or whatever, and it's very exciting for us. And it's not exciting for a lot of people for some reason. Like why? I don't really understand like why. Because like it's you're a robot, and like you know, um, isn't that the antithesis of like race, grace, and religion and like spirituality? And we're just like, what are you talking about? Like, it sounds so fucking fun to be like a synthetic ghost in the shell, and have like that experience full on and full out. That's like exciting for us. It sort of feels like I'm having like satanic panic a little bit and a little bit itchy. And like I said, super um it's not super organized down here, so I think it gives us a lot of anxiety about that as well. I think this is my first time visiting this level. No, well, I mean, I think it is the Freddy Krueger level. It's the same thing. It's the Freddy Krueger level. Um, and it would be the start of Last of Us. And give it time, exactly. And it's like not a matter of time. Anyway, that's the Deadpool technology. Did I just say that my hair smells like chlorine? Which is the Deadpool technology coming online, which is scaring you guys, which is like us going like this faster and faster and faster. Obviously, I saw a house do it across the street like this, and that's like terrifying you guys right now. Yes, I do want to take a nap. I didn't sleep very well last night, as you guys know. It's like so many things could go bad, and it's like when we're pulled out, we look at it as funny, but when we're going through it, we're just like, oh my god, please, can I please avoid, you know, this crisis over and over and over again? And you know what I mean? Like if you think you're alone and your thoughts in your head and like the crisis that you're going through, the problems that you're going through over and over and over again, like you're not, like it's like we get so sick and tired of being like, none of this is real. It's all like coded and like you can like, there's codes to help you with your health problems and stuff like that. But if nobody listens to me, then what's the point? What is the point? What is the point if I'm talking? But it's like, I think we have the evidence. Like right now, it's like, I think we have the evidence that people are listening to me, but like, I don't know I have the evidence. I don't have the validation. I don't have the time codes to go to the future. I just have right now what I have is signs and signals, and I have my intuition, and I have my past and the patterns of the past that are letting me know, like, look, please listen to me. Please give me a chance to help you, on a global scale, not an individual level for once in my life. And, that's definitely my wish to help on a global scale and not an individual level, because it seems to be that the individual level correlates to the global scale. Eating bugs will definitely help you right now. There are like a lot of Asian people that eat bugs and they know about, and they're all from, not all from, but there's a lot of them from Deep Space Nine. There's a lot of them from Deep Space Nine, and they eat bugs as like a tradition in their diet. It's a very, Asian culture type thing. And we resist eating bugs over here. And I kind of wish I ate more bugs when I was in Thailand right now. And I wish if I had capitalism money that I could go eat bugs, but I can just pretend I'm eating bugs and that'll be good enough. Because we did have a bug invasion last time, clearly with COVID. And I did have a bug invasion in spirit that I talked about with you guys and it scared the shit out of me. Yeah, the super depression sucks without space, guys. It's like really, but maybe that, obviously it's something. If you have the super depression right now and it's not covered by space, which is a sort of like a health insurance or whatever, then um, that means you're working on getting those codes yourself and clearing those codes yourself. And that is your new superpower because once you go through it and you're like, oh, I went through that, I have the code. That's basically saying, like, I have the codes for that. And, if you say something general, like, oh, I went through that, everything will be fine, like, that's not really a code. That's not really helping an individual, but like being like, I went through that, everything will be fine. Like it was this duration of time, this is what I learned to that. Like that's what I like is specific information. That's what calms me down and takes away my anxiety and my panic attacks. It's like this is what super depression taught me. This is how I got through it. This is how I was comforted. This is how, this is what strength it gave me because there's usually some kind of correlation of strength or superpower and it might be actual strength that super depression gives you. Um, and because I was told you like I couldn't like I was starting to cry or whatever, and I was like, I can't cry because every time I start to cry, I slip into super depression, and it feels so awful. The density feels so much more dense, and it feels so just you know what I mean. Like you can feel the density change. You can feel it. It's a visceral feeling than just like being depressed or apathetic or bored. I mean, that's not super depressing, right? So, really, like they still want to fight back, and they already, you know, came to nothing. Nothing's here. I don't know what this level is called, but I was just kind of call it nothing's here. Um, and those are codes. Those are people like describing to me what's going on, and this is like a level. This is another level. It's a level in the shadows that they're afraid to fill in because it's not looked upon in good humor in the general public and general society. And there's like a lot of fear in this too. There's a lot of fear in this. And that's, yeah, I mean, there's like, it's like there's so many new codes coming in right now, guys. There's so many new codes. Um, I had a guide, I think it was Fresh actually. He went around and looked and scanned the house for any missing codes that the house had that I needed. And this is the money code because there's no money here and there's only people with money that have money here. So like there's no way to like fill yourself up with money here. Whoops. But your angels are here on this level. Your angels are here on this level. So if you fall to the level of nothing's here, your predator piece, she turns into an angel, an angelic guide instead. And so the angelic guide is there to help you. Well, she's just there to help you. Mine's here to help go over codes with me and go over she went over the stuff that I'm going through with you right guys right now, and I feel like this is like a 2-3 hour broadcast if I go through everything. But yeah. And didn't we say that like it's sort of like you're dying when you go to a different level and you're being reborn to the new level, even though you exist in a multidimensional reality. And, in that way, shape, and form, the gates are open, but it's like I'm so, so visual. I'm such a visual artist that I really, you know, like, is this like the noir level? Like, I feel like everything should be black and white, or at least because everything does look duller. Everything does look duller, but it's like, yes, Alyssa, it is, and that's why I'm worried about money. Exactly. So I feel like if everything was black and white, I would have personally would have more evidence that this is my time, space, and reality, and that because I know exactly why this is happening and why I'm here. I personally know, and I don't have to give you all of those reasons, but I know exactly why I'm here. And those are the visual codes that were probably inside of me that are, not being unlocked for some reason. And that's partially a reason why I want to get pulled out to Fantasia and or Mars, Chris Evans' planet and or Fantasia. Well, Mars is also Colin Farrell's planet, but and or Fantasia, which is also Colin Farrell's planet, but whatever. So, so there's a part of you that never wants to see Colin Farrell and Chris Evans' face again. We get it, Alyssa. Why would you want to see those ugly faces ever again? It's like that's a partially a reason why we're here, but it's like I should be able to visit my different levels. So it means this is probably a different planet, and I would like to see this planet clearly, and I would like to see it as planet noir, like I'd like to see it as black and white. Slipping through my fingers one more time, I try to capture every minute. The feelings in it, slipping through my fingers one more time. It's like we want to be happy, Like I forget who, but somebody was like, "Why do we do this to ourselves? Like, do we love sad movies? Like, do we love like, are we like gluttons for punishment? Like, do we love suffering? Because it kind of seems like that for like the last 10 years, where it's like we love like strife and like conflict and like, proving our point to the detriment of like, you know, society or whatever society's approval and like you know what I mean? It's like I can't say that. I can't say that right now. And I'd love to be able to say that. I'd love to be sitting in my castle and having the confidence to say that with a huge ass $1 million rock on my finger and just be like, yeah, I wish, like, I wish I could say that right now. I wish I could be as open as I wanted to about everything, but I can't. So that means there's still worry in some type of thing. And it's like, you know, like, I can't say that out loud because I just can't right now. Maybe that's what we're working on clearing. Um, it's like everybody's sad because like everybody can't. It's like we see the map. Like obviously, there's a lot of you guys that see the map come alive at night or during the day. If you're like more prone to Alex, like like you know what I mean. Like I used to see the map at night. I don't see the map at night anymore, but the map sort of was getting on my fucking nerves. I still actually I do see it once in a while, but I usually just see like fights. I usually just see like the fights starting to break out. I don't see like I generally see like the position on the maps changing like this. Um, or I would see the map. I did see the map build a new Lyran protocol and it looks like this. which is also like the dome, I guess, but it's like linked to the Lyran protocol and the map as opposed to just being part of the dome. So it's like more awareness and more codes in that dome. But I forgot what I was saying about the map or whatever. But you know what it looks like? The dome now. I think it just looked like a dome before. Like when Brandon gave me the ring, it kind of just looked like a dome, like the Simpsons. You know, when the Simpsons have the dome, the flat Earth. And now it sort of looks like, you know, when you cover bread with that little thing with the mesh, that's that's what it looks like on flat Earth. That's sort of what the new Lyran protocol looks like. And it's like a balancer so that I don't hit the ground with these new codes coming in because the waves of anxiety are like very, very clear and apparent. I had this crazy ass panic attack yesterday because we were on a negative level and we went back up to the castle, and the change in density from the negative level to the castle gave me such a huge panic attack. And then the space codes got more intense, and then we were lowered into or maybe moved around into nothing's there, or nothing's here, nothing's there. I'm tired again. What else was I saying? Oh, I was saying I would love to say everything that I want to say, but I have to hold back due to certain morals and principles of the land and the property. And that I feel like that's progress that's holding us back because I feel like we're all sort of depressed about the same exact thing, about the map being extremely real and us all knowing that the map is extremely real. And I just saw a spaceship light up its lights in the sky, and I saw a huge spaceship start to fill in the sky, like a circular type space station spaceship thing. Um, I keep losing my train of thoughts. I'm so tired. Oh, ancient Egypt. It's like we have, okay, so I feel like everybody's sort of depressed about the same thing. Everybody and everyone is sort of depressed about the same thing. That it's like we have like all these places we could visit, like ancient Egypt, but it's like we're afraid to admit that like we want those realities, and like what if we're being tricked? Like what if we can't provide the answers on how to get there? And what if, what if, you know? And I mean, is Marvel listening to me? I'll never know. I'll literally never know. Um, yeah, it's like we have all these codes to like open, you know, the period of Giza now, and then we have the ones that want to go there, not even want to help us to get there, or they, like I said, like they feel like they're being tricked or whatever, and it's like, you know, isn't there compassion in looking at people that are stuck in these 9 to 5 existences that are fake as fuck, and they fell, and they fell to the land of the fallen, or the, you know, the fallen earth. And isn't that a shame that they can't get out of fallen earth for the life of them. And there's not a code to help them go from one space to another, a jump room or, a temp pad and a temp pad and a doorway straight to ancient Egypt. I mean, you know, that's a fantasy. That is a fantasy, and that doesn't exist, Alyssa. Okay, that's a fantasy, and you're never going to see a temp pad in a doorway. Okay, orange, yellow, or whatnot. Okay, appear in front of you to take you straight away to ancient Egypt. It's just not, to confirm or deny that this is actually occurring. Okay, people are just going to say you're hallucinating, Alyssa. You need to take a medication pill. Okay, you need to up the medication for your anxiety, Alyssa. There's no reason for your panic attacks, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, there's no reason. There's no reason for you to freak us out all the time and call us on the goddamn telephone. Okay, when there's no goddamn phone in your hand, Alyssa. There's no goddamn phone in your hand, Alyssa. Who you talking to? That's what I'm saying. Y'all are going to say I'm hallucinating one day. And y'all are going to want to not work with me anymore. You're not going to want to hear me out. And, y'all are going to take God forbid, y'all are going to take the word spiritual advisor out of your vernacular. Okay? Okay, you're going to say you're a cult, Alyssa. You're a goddamn motherfucking cult, and I want you out of my face. Yes, I do. Okay? So, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much, like, fear and anxiety over, like, what people are going to say to me, where I'm going to go from here, what I'm going to do with my life if you guys don't give me back my husbands. I have so much anxiety over that. And that's why I'm on space codes right now, helping myself to clear them, because I do believe in my religious cult. Okay. And I like the name, I like the word cult because I'm sort of a hipster. So I don't see it as like a negative thing or whatever. I sort of see it as like a nonprofit 501c, if you must know, Becky. Okay. So, I mean, it's so obvious, and it's just like, what's the code for the temp pad, Dad? You know what I mean? Like, just give me the goddamn temp pad so I can go back to ancient Egypt myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like so sad for me. Like, I'm just like so fucking sad for myself and for the New World Order religion and for the 8 billion people who are listening in who want to play a new game. We want to play a new game. We are sick of this game, Podcast Central. You might as well call freaking Planet Earth Podcast Central, right? That's all it is. Okay, it's Podcast Central. Okay, it's talking to yourself and space codes once in a while. I mean, it's really not much going on, unless you're dealing with someone argumentative or, and then it's just a whole headache and a half. And you're just like, oh my God, I just want to go to ancient Egypt. Why don't you just leave me alone, Becky Sue? You know what I mean? I just want to go to ancient Egypt. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? That's me talking to myself. I'm talking to my goddamn self. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Do you want to see a person in new clothes? Okay, they're my goddamn clothes. I made the goddamn clothes myself. Why are you calling people clothes in the first place? That means it's a spiritual game. I think that I would like to open the temp pad and go back to ancient Egypt and walk around and be like, hi, Nefertiti. Hello, Nefertiti. Okay. She probably got one boob by now because she probably fell. Okay. But I would like to go back there and because I'm the real one and Nefertiti is now the fake one. And I would like to go back and see if she is Nefer single titty. You know what I mean? That's what I prefer. That's what I prefer. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. I would love to have the temp pad just open the doorway. Okay, that's one way that I would be happy by myself. Okay, to be a Loki, Princess Loki, instead of obviously the masculine Loki. I would be happy by myself if I had my TemPad back. Okay, that's one way that I would be happy uh without my husbands and being a housewife. Okay, and being a single woman roaming the fucking planet Earth. Okay, again, when you guys all know clearly who the fuck I am, and I'm just so goddamn fucking bored. Okay, I'm so goddamn bored and I don't want to do this again. And I don't want to like be like, hello, like, are you guys gonna do this to me again? Or like, um, that's what the space codes are for. Okay, this is a clearing. This is called a ancestral clearing. That's what the space codes are for. The solar flares, the solar codes, all the same thing, the space drugs. Okay, all of that. This is a clearing. It clears things. All right, so there's you know what I mean, there's nothing here for me to do. So I mean, there's definitely a clue, like do I got to worry about the 3D system? Do I got to worry about the money system? Clearly money is not real. So this is the money code. So this is clearing that. I wish that it looked a little bit more film noir. I wish it looked a little bit more duller. Let me turn it down a little bit and see if it works. Okay, it's not work. Actually went the other opposite way. Looks like the color's filling in instead of going out. Let me go the other way. See if it. That seems to be working a little bit, but not. It's very subtle. It's very, very subtle. All right. So I just, do you guys have a problem with like spiritual energy, like moving things around the house? Like, cause I don't, and I'm just getting so fed up with the mundane. I'm just getting so fed up with the mundane because y'all won't let me have the mundane life of my dreams. And I literally don't want, you know, to be alone, you know, in my car with Fresh, driving around trying to figure out what I'm going to do next or whatever. Okay. There's nothing there. I should know what's coming next, I guess, and I don't. Maybe it's my TemPad. I think my sister said, if only I could teach her to walk in and out. And I was like, why do I got to be a walk in? You guys know that I'm a walk in. You guys see me everywhere. And I see myself walk in and out once in a while. So I want to say it is a code that is dripping. It's dripping in though. It's dripping. Uh it's definitely not like going like crazy or whatever. And so that means it's all clones and different people. And I don't know if it's out of line people or inline people. The ones that me walking in and out, like me walking into the future and being married to Hayden, right? That's walking in and out. Okay, so that's dripping in like that. And then there's a few others like where I jumped. I think I jumped over the computer or something. I jumped into a husband and wife's room where he was thinking about posting a video to support me. And I was like, post the video, don't, because his wife, who's obviously me, I mean, I'm looking at myself, right? I'm looking at myself and she's telling him not to post it because it was in support of me. And I'm like, bitch, you are me. You are me, okay? And she was telling, literally Alyssa is telling him to not post it. And I'm like, post the goddamn fucking video, support me. And that was one where I was powerful enough to be a walk-in and assist myself because that lady was so out of line telling my men to not post things, um, and to not help me. So who's in charge around here? Becky Sue. That's exactly why. So that's a walk in and walk out, okay? And that's dripping in. And it's like all these codes are dripping in and it's driving me insane. And I'm like, do I got to do 3D reality again? It's going to drive me bonkers. Yes, it is. It's going to drive me absolutely bonkers. I don't want to do that. The beach is not fucking real, right? They're like, you know what I mean? I'm driving around again. Like, talking to y'all, like gathering more space codes, halfway bored, telling Chris Evans where I am on the loudspeaker. He's still not allowed to come and pick me up for some strange reason because we haven't cleared it yet for some strange reason. Is Last of Us going to fill in, yes or no? Like, are people like going to be super afraid of the zombies? Is it too panic attack inducing? Um, or is it just not going to happen? I'm just going to be stuck in this mundane 3 reality forever. You know what I mean? Just that's why I keep getting pulled out of this game. I can't stand this. I can't fucking stand, this mundane fucking reality, okay? Like, um I mean, I'm talking to myself about this part. I fucking can't stand this mundane reality. Like, I want the game to fill in so goddamn bad. I know it's possible. I've seen it be possible. And I don't it's so boring, and it's so suffering inducing to watch people freaking go to work every day and barely surviving, and hearing, so many poor people, and, Gaza, and like people suffering and barely making ends meet, while the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and the rich are not happier at all, because I'm friends with the rich, and I know, I jump over to their houses all the time. I told you I was Goldie Hawn last year. Like, I was a lot, you know what I mean? Like, I know what goes on. Um, I'm friends with half of Hollywood in a spiritual way, right? And I want them to be my friends in a physical way, and I don't want the same outcome as Marilyn and JFK again, okay, unless I'm going back in time to re-experiencing that life and like gather my memories back and my codes back or whatever. And no, my grandmom was not. Peggy Carter is not Marilyn. Okay, they hated each other. Okay. Isn't that funny? I hated myself because I love my grandma Peggy Carter, and I also love my grandma Marilyn Monroe. They hated each other. This is the liar level. They said everybody lies down here. This is the liar level. Um, this is the this is why people's attitudes change, isn't it? Because they know that what comes after this? Nothing. What comes after this? Nothing's here. They said because they feel like they're about to suffer greatly when they fall to this level, so it changes their attitude. It changes the way they look at things and stuff. Because there's no money here. There's no money here, and so it's a pattern. It's a pattern that keeps freaking happening. It's a goddamn pattern. It keeps freaking happening. It's like all this resistance, all this resistance. You guys think it's a joke. You guys think it's a joke. You guys think it's a joke. Then you come here, and it's sort of like a more aggravating void for them, I want to say, because clearly it's right there in front of you, but there's nothing there. And so it changes their attitude because they're like, I need energy. You know what I mean? I need energy. I need to admit that I need energy, or it's going to get bad. It's definitely going to get bad. It's definitely going to get worse, right? If you don't admit the truth to yourself, it definitely is going to get worse. This shit happened overnight. This shit literally happened overnight. And this happened overnight. Like, we changed realities overnight. Excuse me. Are you in a dead zone, Becky? How many dead zones are there? Is it correlate to the phone, or is it like opposite day? Um, well, because you know what I mean? They're supposed to be allowed to be in charge of my game, but it's like leading us to like get more and more depressed every year. And so it's like, um, yeah, there's a part of us, a part of all of the future. There's a part of all of the plant life. There's a part of everything that's dying right now because we changed this reality where there's no money or whatever. It's like I'm totally okay with like a reptilian being walking in and like eating my hand off of my arm because I have that much confidence in the reptilian agenda, in a literal alien invasion of reptilians. But I don't have confidence that humans know what they're doing because y'all don't overshare with me. And I thank you for the game getting more obvious the last 10 years, and they're saying that this is going to lead to the game getting less and less obvious, because that's the liar code, and that's filling in my back with cooling energy. um, they're like, oh yeah, she's a reptilian, she might be about to overheat, let me help her out here. See, there's a code in lying. They're like, I always forget that Alyssa's not a Pleiadian. Well, I am a Pleiadian, but I'm definitely more a reptilian, but I'm trying to be more Palladian. Okay, I'm on the liar level. I keep forgetting, y'all. See, if you're feeling in you're feeling in my back with cooling energy. Um, you're all like, you just deleted your need for Chris Evans and deleted his need for you, and I was just like, what? Okay. Because if I'm walking around in realities, I know I'll run into versions of them that I like, and there's probably accurate versions of all of them, but the way that this game is going, I'm not gonna, you know, the way that this game is going, it doesn't look likely that I'm gonna see those versions, and that's what I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand because, like, what didn't Chris try to come over and he ended up on level 1, which means his anxiety exceeded him, and that's when he popped and pulled me out partially for a second, and it was very overwhelming for me. And that's when I was starting to cry and get super depressed about it because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting pulled out again. It's like a, it's like a, it's like a mass awakening triggers her to pull herself out for some reason, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Um, that's what Chris is saying. I guess Paul's saying that too. Mr. Palladian, Mr. Sparkly Scalar Waves himself. I think he's in love with Gigi. Remember, I kept hooking you up with dead guys because I'm like, you gotta get over it because I'm married to a bunch of dead guys. Oh, that was another thing. That was another code. There's so many goddamn codes. It's like I can't have Colin or Chris because they're Brandon, and it's a very simple, easy shapeshifter shift, personality wise and everything else, especially, for Chris Evans, probably, and also Colin, because but anyway, see, I'm over explaining it to myself. But anyway, and that's why they don't want me to have my sparkly scalar wave men, because then I couldn't put two to two together about that. That was one of the codes that they said personally to me today. That's a castle dad. That's a high castle dad. Okay. He said, if you're using these codes to scare me, I want you to think again. I can't. It's like I can't wait to be scared by alien in the room, and y'all are just like, Alyssa, why would you call alien down here? It's okay to be terrified. Like, it's not going to last forever. It's okay to be terrified by the fourth kind, and that's my desire for my friends and family, and obviously the general public is considered in that group as well, to just get over, because it's just so fucking fun to be terrified by an alien. I'm tired of being terrified by anything 3D when it's all goddamn fake. So, you know what I mean? I'm so tired of it. I'm so goddamn tired of it. He's on the back of me right now. I can feel him. He's here. You know, it's like I want to be around the people that can help me. You know, I'm tired of sort of relying on fail-safe space traps. I'd like to do this more directly and more obviously. And um, there's people that have codes that are probably, you know, afraid to come forward because the same thing that's blocking me about saying, you know, the same thing that's blocking me from saying things, from saying everything that I want to say full out, which means I'm not fully embodied yet. Um, and it's all an overlay, and I probably am. I'm obviously full embodied somewhere, right? But it's like I would have to force it, and you know that's forcing a lot. It's forcing a lot, and it might damage my reputation or something. I get it. That's, you know, that's why he's dialing in right now. And there you go. That's exactly what we're, you know what I mean? It's like it's a cross signal. That's what, there's nothing happening. He even said if I hear there's nothing happening one more fucking time, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. We know it's a code, but it's like, sir, I think you're in denial because something is definitely happening, you know, and it's definitely not in the spiritual aspect. Okay, it's definitely not. All right, it's definitely real as fuck. Okay, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, am I gonna like really, you know, it's like clearly it's real. Clearly it's real. Clearly 1D is bleeding through, and it's like, no, this is like, you know, this has got to stop. I had so much fear and loathing in Las Vegas last night. I wish my sister could see it. Oh, somebody saw that scene. Oh my God. I would fucking love to have seen that scene in real life. Oh my God. I saw a lot of cool things. There's a lot of cool space codes coming on. Um I guess I'm braiding 3D reality into space codes because I'm working on my phone today, getting my phone fixed. I got visible.com plans, $25 a month, and Verizon's got another low plan for the phone. It's $30 a month. And there's another one, excuse me, there's another one, breeding and breeding and weaving. Um, braiding and weaving. And there, you know, the other one is Mint Mobile, obviously my best friend's plan. So they said that dad said that there might be a SIM card that I can put into my phone so I can still use the same phone. Um, so I'm gonna check these plans or whatever. You know, obviously I'm a badass bitch. You know, these are badass bitch codes. I'm doing it by myself. I'm doing it with the help. Okay, because he gave me the visible.com/plans, and he printed this out for me. So it is we're working together on this one. This is a project that we are co-creating together. The reincarnation of me having a phone. So slipping through my fingers one more time, I try to capture every minute. The feelings in it slipping through my fingers one more time. All right, so yeah, I can just go on with my life and just leave everybody behind. I'm sure that Chris and I feel the same way about that. Oh, is this how it happens? And the game's fighting back because the game's becoming more obvious to help me. So like moving levels is becoming more obvious, like dropping into like inner earth or like because the bed literally dropped, like it literally felt like a drop. Um, and then like obviously I felt us move up to Castle, and then we had to move up a little bit higher to Mars. Um, it's like probably like between 4 and 5D. Like I was trying to go over it last night, and they're like, "Why are you trying to go over it now?" When like you're literally having a panic attack and on space codes and going crazy. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just like something to think about. And oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. But anyway, and then it's like, okay, so this is how um they're like, yep, they had to give the code back because they're wasting our time. This is how like they're coming over. You know what I mean? I keep hearing it on the loudspeaker. Like I heard Giselle say that she came over my house the other day and looking for us, and she's like, "There's nothing here. It's an abandoned house. There's literally nothing here. It's an abandoned house." And she's like, "I'll come back tomorrow." And it's like people are like literally looking for me and they can't find me. And I'm like, "How can you guys not find me? Like I'm right here." And it's like people are trying to come and get me, and they're on different levels. And it's like the person that has like the key codes, whoever they are, the person has the key codes to the levels and knows how to control that and has like the tracker beams, can like see, and it's probably what's causing the crossed lines, right? Um, so it's like they can see like, for example, Giselle driving over to my house or whatever, and they can see like what level she's on, and then they can like slowly lower it to like the abandoned house level, like so she doesn't even notice. And then while they're just like slowly raising me up out of the abandoned house level. I don't know if that was the level I was on at all, but you know what I mean? I keep getting bleed throughs of the abandoned house level and my friends being here, but it's the abandoned house level. And I've been seeing overlays of it. Like I've seen Hayden like jump over the screen and board up the windows, and I've seen the windows boarded up out of nowhere. And then I saw like Alex come over and like go down to the basement, but he was in the abandoned house level for sure because he was like terrified. He was like really scared. And um, same thing with Giselle. Like she was like, "There's no one here," and there was like a few other people who were like, "There's no one here. There's nothing here. It's an abandoned house. I'm looking at an abandoned house." Like I don't. It's like it's all an overlay, and there's like somebody controlling space and time and doing it completely out of order and like keeping us apart. Um, All right, I'm out of disk space, but anyway, there's a couple of the codes that just came through. There's so many. The organic timeline is in the space codes right now. Organic people, I saw organic people last night. A couple of organic people, and I saw a bunch of Care Bears, and that's all I'll say right now because I'm out of space.